is a little bit belated, but you know, it is what it is. Cuckoo, my name is Anastasiia and welcome to my YouTube channel. So as you have already understood, today we are tackling the fourth and the last big fashion week, and I'm obviously talking about Paris. If you have watched my previous videos, you know what will be happening right now, and if you haven't, please do so. The links will be in the description below, you can find them on my channel, and I also hope that my jacket do not make way too many noises, but I really wanted to wear it videos, so... Anyway, it's Paris we are talking about today, meaning even though I severely lowered down the number, it is still quite a lot. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting strong with Saint Laurent by Anthony Vaccarello, and no, we are not talking about the recent Dior collection here because I do not want to traumatize anyone, myself included, any further than necessary. Although speaking about Saint Laurent, I'm also not quite sure how much of his collection I can actually show here on YouTube without my video being restricted. So if you want to see all of the look, you can head to the walk runway or tag walk. Speaking of what I can show you, rather unfortunate in my humble opinion, although I know it is a part of the house history and yada yada, still doesn't mean I have to like those safari aesthetic rendezvous anymore that I need to. Vaccarello is back to his sleek Parisian chic of a siren aesthetic everyone seemingly came to, well, both love and expect from him. Although this time around the siren seems to be, you know, less on the mysterious side and slightly more adventurous, and adventurous she shall be, because the majority of the garments presented within this collection are made out of the same material your tights are made of. With this knowledge in hand, I think you can definitely see it right now. Besides that, I shall blame this adventurous on both ever-increasing amount of sheer as well as the change of the headpieces. Because instead of mysterious hoods, we now have, well, I'm not quite sure what the proper name for this headpiece is, so I'll just keep saying it's a swimming cap until I know better, because it definitely looks like a swimming cap to me. Anyway, moving on to Cecilie Bahnsen. I'm gonna quote here. I wanted the collection to have a bit of an edge, taking a step away from innocence and sweetness. And indeed, it's like a queen of romance, you know, finally acknowledged the other side of her favorable aesthetic and went on a full dark academia, dark romance spree, which, as you can probably tell by looking at me, I'm not opposed to it the slightest. Next we have Balmain by Olivier Rousteing. Love the elegance, love the whimsicality, and you know, I generally love the look that could be worn by a wealthy wizard. The collection was inspired by Olivier's hometown in general and his adoptive mother style in particular, so I guess wealthy wizards would be Bordeaux inhabitants. I'm talking far more boho collection than I have ever talked about on this channel, but Loewe by Shamana Kamali. Yes, someone pinched me because boho is becoming cool again, and the most frightening thing of all, I might even be here for that. But then again, the credit where credit is due, because this new boho is very different from like 2011 Kesha boho or I don't know, 2015 Coachella. This one is more like late 17s, it's more Daisy Jones, more French chic and, you know, plain cool. If Shamana Kamali debut at Chloe is not a testament to that, I don't even know what is. And as for the trends, we can definitely spy both the over-the-knee boot that we have seen plenty during Milan Fashion Week, Bottega, Tom Ford, Gucci, to name a few, and plaid outerwear were present too, which is quite a peculiar trend, and I thought it would be very much so in the confines of the London Fashion Week, because it's not even a trend, more like a lifestyle, no, but something heritage-like. However, it has definitely traveled both Milan and Paris, so now I can put it into the trends category. Rabanne by Julian de Senna. Now that is not something I expected, and honestly, I'm not even quite sure how I should feel about it. Am I happy with the fact that the brand, explored other style areas and doesn't get stuck to doing the same 80s futuristic kind of male chain over and over again? Yes, because it will obviously do some good to them in the long run. But then again, do I think that such a radical shift in style was a great idea? Like, on the one hand, once again, yes, plainly due to the shocking factor. On the other hand, though, how truly shocking can one be while presenting during the Paris Fashion Week? Because I feel like the shocker factor during the Paris and the New York shall be far more high for the shows to be noticed and really be spoken about in this, once again, shocking factor manner. Because otherwise there's only a certain amount of attention that the brand can get. Like, also while chasing for this choker style of attention with a radically new look, it might simply end up losing the existing clientele base in the process. With that being said, the collection is obviously on the maximalist side of spectrum, but far more whimsically witchy once again in comparison to the Balmain in an old-fashioned way. Like, weirdly, the Harry Potter family could be easily dressed like this. And I have no idea why I'm putting so many Harry Potter references during this fashion week. Anyway, moving on to the Givenchy. Now, this is an in-house designer team product of Love because, as you probably know, as of right now, Givenchy is still very much so creative director-less, and they totally took the safe road here. Not that I think that they were given much of a choice anyway. It is simple and chic. It is minimal in both the color palette as well as the silhouettes. It's also a little bit glamorous, but like never too much, and very, very, very Givenchy kind of elegant. But also a tad bit boring, yes, but then again, did prove to be the excellent strategy for Gucci, with one strong creative director leaving the brand, be reinstalled with another. Also ended up bringing totally new style direction. LVMH kind of did the same thing with Pharrell at LV Man, but then again, the situation was kind of different and more difficult in a way, because let's be honest here, it's always far more difficult to compete with the memory of those who passed away rather than a living, breathing person. So this time I think they will be pulling full-on Gucci here. By them I mean LVMH at Givenchy, because believe it or not, Matthew Williams definitely left a lingering impression. So if they want for the brand to move into another direction, giving it a couple of seasons for brand's designer team to put out some of the collections so that the public can relax a little bit, get away from the idea of Matthew Williams at Givenchy, and then being prepared for the new director as well as his vision. Next we have Schiaparelli by Daniel Roseberry, and people have been complaining a lot that it wasn't magical enough or it wasn't creative enough this time around, but honestly, like, have you seen the minimalist of the minimalism that, other brands have been showing on the runways? And like, can you honestly say that in comparison to them, this one doesn't look creative or maximalist or even whimsical of sorts? Because I do see all of these things, but in regards to the fact that this collection is less out there than the previous ones from the Daniel Roseberry at Schiaparelli that we have seen before, well, yes. The fashion space do affect everyone and anyone involved, and that's why trends do so often intervene. It would be quite unrealistic for them not to meddle with one's brand aesthetic while they so clearly affect the other ones. All in all, was it more Saint Laurent chic? Yes. Do I think it's a bad thing? Absolutely no. I love the tailoring, especially when it intervenes with like surrealistic little details, like a tie, which is actually a braid, and not just a braided tie, but a hair sort of braid. I also love the leather pieces, and above all, I loved the nano face back. So damn cute. Ooh, and the tights with the red nails? Are you kidding me? That is so cool. Next we have Loewe by Jonathan Anderson, and if you follow my TikTok, you know that Albert York is my latest art crush, hence why I absolutely have to talk about the collection that took his art as the inspiration point. But then again, it is Jonathan Anderson we are talking here. So from naive American art of landscapes and still lifes, the inspiration swiftly moved on to the more serious topic, like why do we own certain things and why do we want to own them? What makes an object desirable, luxurious? What actually gives it a meaning? What gives owning the object a meaning? And that is probably why the whole collection looks like a number of transformed objects from the wealthy household. Alexander McQueen by Sean McGear. Now, here comes the debut that single-handedly disappointed the hell out of the fashion community, because we don't need another Jonathan Anderson. We need McQueen. But here is the thing. There won't be another Alexander McQueen. Like there won't be another Christian Dior, or there won't be another Yves Saint Laurent. If we look at each of these houses right now and compare them to their origins, both couldn't be further from their respectful beginnings. Because the house codes are surely there, but the overall vibe, flow, mood, whatever we are calling it, is certainly not. Like, that is the main argument when it comes to McQueen. Because surely enough, little references are also there. It is the mood that doesn't fit with what Alexander McQueen used to do. Now, my personal opinion on the matter is that the one reason brand is getting like this much controversy is because the passing of Alexander is still fairly recent. It's been only 14 years in comparison to the other couturiers of the same size, talent, and caliber, the majority of whom passed away very well in the previous century. So what I'm saying is that the current fashion community simply cannot remember how it was for the same household names to go through this very same transitional period, you know, for the brand after its namesake designer passed away. Which, if we look closely once again to each and every case, was a highly transformative state. And brand, quite frankly, never emerged the same on the other side of it. But because McQueen is the only brand currently being in this particular predicament, well, I like it is simply getting the brunt of it. With that being said, I think it was a decent debut collection. The references were there, the innovations too, and like the overall mood couldn't be further from the Sarah Burton's McQueen, which is exactly what people wanted, seemingly until they finally got it. And as a final pointer, yes, I do think that those horse boots are fun and cool. Assuming. Moving on to an easier topic to digest, Valentino by Pier Paolo Piccioli. Don't you have this feeling that when designer starts his or her at a post-show interview with "It's a continuation of my further exploration of yada yada," you just know it's gonna be a filler collection. And sure enough, a filler collection it is. Why are we even talking about it? Well, I am but a weak human, and when it comes to my fashion vocabulary, what I feed into it, I just cannot resist the charm of the feminine side of the late 1970s, early 1980s, as well as the beautiful evening wear. So here it is for you. Here is more. And some more. Well, I hope you've got enough. Moving on to the Raw Resort 2025 by Olsen Sisters. And despite the fact that the intended bloke of the phones, which was done during the show mainly for people to pay more attention to the clothes presented to them, backfired right into their faces, because no one seemed to recall like a single detail about the collection other than the no phones policy. Speaking about which, it was actually really good. The usual, the raw minimalism, yes, but with a touch of magic, a touch of musicality to it, which in simple words would be basic timeless pieces with a twist, or if we go back to my Harry Potter references, I would dress a Beau Battles in it. We have 3 more shows to go, bear with me, starting with Chanel by Virginie Viard. You know how when you have a spot on your face, then you deliberately choose to wear red lipstick or accented eye to get the attention away from the spot? Yeah, that is how those hats feel to be. But in all the honesty, it is the usual Virginia Chanel, you know the deal, an eccentric Parisian walking down the scene in her expensive ready-to-wear and not giving a damn about what other people think of her styling. And if you find it a tad more masculine than usual, well, thank the inspirations behind the face of the 90s, the glam rock, and the David Bowie. I honestly don't know, the whole narrative has kind of grown on me, not gonna lie. Miu Miu by Miuccia Prada. I will be frank, I am not very much so enjoying whatever it is that's going on with the Miu Miu as of right now. Like, it seems too cartoonish, too boxy, and all in all, like, not really my vibe. But to give the credit where credit is due, the coats, the loafers, the 60s silhouettes to the dresses, as well as the silk cocktail dresses, I did enjoy. I mean, it's not even the ugliness that gets to me, because, well, that I at least can understand with the brand's ugly chic history. It's more like that uncharacteristic kitsch that throws me off, I guess. Like, Jeremy Scott designed Miu Miu like collection for the Jeremy Scott brand or for the Moschino when he used to work there, which for him would be totally understandable. But here, no. And the last show of the season was a surprise menswear from Saint Laurent by Anthony Vaccarello. And a surprise not only the fact that it was like totally unplanned and out of the menswear fashion calendar, but also with the rapid change of the fashion vocabulary. Because instead of the genderless soft silhouettes that we used to be getting through the last couple of seasons, we've got the 60s suiting along with fabulous, well, I shall call it 90s Matrix leather coats. I, for once, think that that was a right decision for a brand. Like, the shockwave of the unexpected show kind of softened the potential shockwave that could have backfired with the rapid change of the style. I mean, not that it was, you know, as rapid as Rabanne, for instance. It's still on the minimal, muted, office siren core kind of thing, but still, they thought about it, and that was smart. Ladies and gentlemen, we came to the end of this video. Now let's talk about favorites. As per usual, we are picking 3. So I'm surprising myself on here, but I want to put Chloe, controversially so Schiaparelli, and I don't know, let's say Balmain, because the power shoulders gets easily to me. But all in all, I shall say that it was quite a blah Parisian fashion week. It didn't get me all, you know, excited for the fashion. It wasn't exactly anything that like caught my attention. Obviously, I made some notes on the trends that I would probably like to explore and yada yada, but you know, I'm analyzing fashion all the time, so that's what I do. So since it is the last with Big Force Fashion Week videos, I think I can pick a favorite fashion week, and surprisingly enough, I'm gonna say it was London, because there were the most shows that got me excited, and you know, I'm weak when it comes to Victoriana, I'm weak when it comes to dark romance and dark academia, so there. With that being said, if you like this video, you can subscribe to this channel or something. Also leave me a like, check out my other social medias if you like the vibes, and other than that, I'll see you in the next one, so bye!